Coming to the clinical aspects of the cell membrane, what happens if there are membrane disorders, membrane damages? The first one is the kinds of damages. If there is a mechanical injury, for example, the sickle cell disease, here the shape of the cells is getting affected. Smooth round cells, biconcave cells are getting converted into pointed sickle shaped cells. Because of that, the RBC's lifespan is reduced and various other clinical features are seen. So mechanical injury to the cell membrane, erythrocyte membrane gets damaged by the precipitates of deoxyhemoglobin. So because of that, the erythrocyte membrane is getting damaged, the shape of the RBCs is changed, and the lifespan of the RBCs is changed. So one is mechanical injury, then chemical injury. Chemical injury. So in the chemical injury, the snake bites. The snake venom contains phospholipases. So even the phospholipids present in the cell membrane are broken down by the phospholipases enzymes. And these enzymes are plenty in the snake venom. Hence, if a snake bite happens, the phospholipases will break down the phospholipids and all the cell membranes get destroyed and all the organelles, their functions, the contents will be released throughout the body and all the clinical features. Then next comes the hypoxic injury. Hypoxic injury, that means there is low oxygen levels. Because of low oxygen levels, the ion channels and the sodium-potassium ATPase will be not functioning properly. Because of that, the membrane, the cell will not be functioning. That is a hypoxic injury. Then coming to the mutations of the membrane proteins. There are certain uh, proteins in the cell membrane acting as receptors. For example, LDL receptor. Each protein is produced from a genes, right? Gene transcription, translation, and all those things. So if there is a mutation in the gene, the LDL receptors will not be functioning. Because of the not non-functioning LDL receptors, the LDL will not enter into the cell, and there will be accumulation of the LDL. Then autoantibodies to the membrane receptors. There, the membrane receptors are not functioning at all. Here, the membrane receptors are functioning, but the body is producing autoantibodies, antibodies against its own cells, blocking the receptors. Because of that, the substance, when released, when it is supposed to bind to the receptor is not able to bind to the neurotransmitter, and because of that there is no cell signaling and no proper cell stimulus cell signaling is not happening. Then next, now coming to the defective membrane lipid composition, we have seen already the membrane protein defects. Now membrane lipid composition, if there is an enzyme deficiency like glucocerebrosidase. In the Gaucher's disease, there is deficiency of the enzyme glucocerebrosidase. Because of that, there is accumulation of glucocerebrosides in the cell membrane. And we already know the cell membrane is rich in choline containing phospholipids or ethanolamine or serine containing phospholipids. If instead of those things, glucocerebrosides accumulated, there is altering in the lipid composition and there will be problematic. And then now coming to the disorders of the membrane skeleton, membrane protein defects again. So in diseases like Duchenne muscular dystrophy and hereditary spherocytosis or elliptocytosis, there are defects in the membrane proteins. In DMD, there is absence of the protein completely. Dystrophin is the protein that is completely absent in Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And in hereditary spherocytosis, there is a defect in the spectrin or anchorin protein, resulting in hereditary spherocytosis or elliptocytosis. So these are the clinical applications of the plasma membrane. There is seven disorders, seven types of disorders.